What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today I'm going to talk about this 14% increase for Social Security. Okay, I'm going to let you know what I'm talking about here in a minute, but it's not the increase that you're thinking. And we're not talking about COLA. We're not talking about anything like that. But in the future, we are talking about something that could affect everyone receiving Social Security. So that's what we're going to focus on today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll be notified anytime I post a video. We do daily videos here. So by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is I want to show you this article. And this is interesting because this just came out, what was it, December 7th. Lawmakers decry massive backlog in Social Security disability claims. And so what they're saying, if you file a Social Security disability claim, you could be waiting months, if not even a year in some situations, just to get through that first process, to see if you get approved or denied. And so this is amazing that we're looking at this situation, but you have politicians right now that are really... Now they're out there saying this is horrible. How can this be happening? And you have Democrats on one side saying that we need to boost funding for Social Security. Okay, so top House Senate Democrats on Tuesday called for a drastic boost in funding for Social Security Administration to increase staffing, improve technology, and expand other investments. Okay, so Democrats want a boost. Now, Republicans, on the other hand, top Republican on the House Ways and Means Committee, meanwhile, call for serious bipartisan reforms. So serious bipartisan reforms, you have to understand, he's not saying a boost. What he's saying is he wants some type of reform, which could mean that there's no new money, basically just reform what you have, fix what you have, but some things need to be changed is basically what he's saying. So moving on down this article, and we're gonna dig deep into this. I'm gonna show you some different illustrations and really hammer this home when it comes to how serious this is for anyone receiving Social Security. So basically, what the problem that they're having, and this happened because of the pandemic. After the pandemic, there was closures in Social Security Administration offices, and so now they're trying to catch up. But the problem is there's so many claims that are out there, they don't have enough people to actually look at these claims. And also the people who are looking at the claims, a lot of those people are quitting. They're leaving the job because it's just, they're overworked. There's so many claims out there that they have to look at. They're just saying it's not worth it. There was a lady, an article that I was reading, she makes like $17.50 an hour. And she said, you know what? It's not worth it. I would much rather do something else. And so a lot of people are leaving the Social Security Administration. And so now they're down in employees. So that's even worse because they need to hire more employees, but they don't pay enough. They don't pay enough for most people. And right now, if you are looking for a job, you can find a job. And in many cases, you can find a well-paying job because there's so many companies out there trying to hire people that they're competing against each other to try to hire these people. So they're boosting up the hourly wage and the benefits and all of that. So it's just not, when it comes to the Social Security Administration, working for the Social Security Administration, right now, people are looking at it and they're thinking, you know, it's just not worth it. And so that is compounding the problem. And so now I want to switch over to my illustration here. And I want to show you guys, and we'll move down here, and I want to show you by state. And these are the highest states when it comes to the wait time. And so it's not all the states on here. It looks like it's a handful, maybe it looks like about 10 states. But let's look at some of these different states here. So in Florida, in 2019, your wait time was about 77 days. So you file a claim and you had to wait about 77 days in order to get a response. Now that response is taking 225 days in Florida. So just imagine you file a claim and you have to wait 225 days just to get a response. That's plus 191% change, and that's in the matter of from 2019 to 2022. Looking at Arizona here, Initially, back in 2019, it was 81 days. Now it's 229. Idaho was 55 days. Now it's 155. Alabama, it was 78 days. Now it's 213. Texas, 79 days. Now it's 214. And just goes on and on down the list. It's just, I mean, it's amazing that you would file a claim and you have to wait that long to get a response. And that's a huge problem. Now let's back up here, because when I was talking about that 14% increase, back in July, I believe it was June or July of this year, President Biden's budget proposal for the Social Security Administration operations in 2023 was $14.8 billion. So basically, you need to have a budget signed by September 30th every year, and that's for the next year. So by September 30th of this year, they needed to pass a budget for 2023. Now, of course, they didn't pass a budget because that's not what Congress does. They like to kick the can down the road, and that's what they did. So they did a continued resolution until December 16th. And the reason why they do this continued resolution and the reason why they did it back in September is because they didn't want to shut the government down. Okay. But now we're coming up to December 16th, and they need to make a decision again. So President Biden's proposal, $14.8 billion. Now, that would be a 14% increase. Now, when I say an increase, I'm talking about for operations. I'm talking about for the Social Security Administration to operate. So to pay their employees and to pay everything, the technology and all the stuff that they need to do to get the checks out to the American people, as well as customer service and to look over these applications and all of that. Okay. So $1.8 billion, that would have been a $1.8 billion increase from 2022. And so what President Biden wanted to do is he wants an increase. Okay. He doesn't want the issues that they're dealing with right now. He wants that to be addressed by adding more money to Social Security Administration. That way they can hire more people. They can pay those people more. That way it'll be maybe easier for them to acquire these people. And so you might be asking yourself, okay, well, $1.8 billion more, that increase, what are they going to do with that money? So the vast majority of it, $1.6 billion, would go towards streamlining the SSA's services and helping the agency process various claims, which this is it, right? Various claims. This is what needs to happen more efficiently. So that is where the $1.6 billion would go. Now, understand, this was back in June or July when President Biden mentioned this. Okay, so now we're fast forward to December, and of course, it's, everyone's saying this is a disaster. How could this happen? And we need to get everything done. You have Democrats and Republicans saying we need to move forward with reforming Social Security or boosting Social Security. And it looks like the White House saw this coming. So that's why they wanted additional funding to go to Social Security. Okay, so Congress needs to draft a budget. So basically, just because the president wants, like the president this is his wish list. And so with this wish list, basically the president's saying, I'd like $14.8 billion to go to the Social Security Administration. I'd like $10 billion to go to this agency, $10 billion to go to this agency. So that's basically how it works. But Congress is the one that has to draft it up, and they're the ones that have to pass it. Okay, it's not the president. The president doesn't have the power. Why? Because he doesn't hold the power of the purse. He doesn't hold the money. The money comes from Congress. And so Congress needs to draft a bill. And it's much like what we've been talking about when it comes to how bills become law, all that. So Congress needs to draft a bill. And once they draft that bill, it needs to go through the House and the Senate, and then it moves to the president, and then he can sign off on it. Okay. So what they did in September, like I said, they did this continued resolution, a stopgap measure, basically continuing it until 12/16, until December 16th. And so now we're coming up on December 16th. What are they going to do? And that's what we don't know. Okay. Now now they need to act. And now you have these politicians that are coming out and saying, how could this happen? And they're getting all this backlash from the community because they're saying this is unreasonable. How are we in a situation like this? Something needs to change, and it's not going to change overnight. And that's the problem. This is one of those situations where it's going to take time. You're going to have to hire new people. You're going to have to train those people. It's going to take time before you can get to a point where you can bring down those numbers when it comes to the claims, bring down the wait time from 200 and something days to maybe back to around 3 months. But yeah, it's going to take time. And so we still don't know what Congress is going to do, because if they want, they can do another continued resolution and just kick the can down the road again. And if they do that, the problem with doing that is they're not addressing that $14.8 billion. They're not addressing the increase, that 14% increase. You won't see a 14% increase, because basically what they're saying is, let's just keep the budget the way it is, don't make any changes, and then we'll address it next year. That's what they're saying. And so that's the fear. The fear is that we could be in a situation where they do another continued resolution, and now the issues are not being addressed. They won't be addressed, and we'll have to wait another year. Then they'll have to figure something out. Back in next September, they're going to start scrambling again. What are we going to do? We're going to do another continued resolution and just kick the can down the road. I think it was 2019 was the last time that they had an actual budget bill that passed. And so we've been continuing this since then. And so obviously things need to change, because this is something that's only going to get worse. And so right now, it's not only the people who are putting in claims that have long wait times, but even calling on the phone. If you call on the phone, you have a 30-minute wait time. 30-minute wait time just to call on the phone. And I don't know. I haven't called the Social Security Administration, so I don't know if they've improve their technology, which they should be able to improve their technology to the point where they can call you back so you don't have to just wait on the phone. Let me know in the comments below if you call the Social Security Administration and if they do have that feature where they'll call you back. But they definitely need to make some changes. Now, I did see that they changed their website. So if you guys go over to the Social Security Administration website, they've made some changes to that. So they are moving forward with technology, and usually the government is last when it comes to technology. You have these tech companies that are really savvy when it comes to improving their websites and improving just the overall technology. But when it comes to the government, they're always last when it comes to moving forward with technology. So we're going to have to follow this story, but I think it's very important for us to focus on. I know I've been talking about the things that need to happen in December. One of those things that need to happen is they need to address the budget. Okay. And that's going to be one thing that you're going to hear them talking about. This is next week. December 16th is next week. So they're going to have to do something very, very fast when it comes to how they're going to move forward. I would anticipate that they're not going to have a bill. I would anticipate that basically what they're going to do is they're going to do a continued resolution. And unfortunately, the agencies that would have gotten more money if they were to move forward with the bill, they're not going to be able to get that money. And the money's basically going to be the same as last year, which for Social Security, like I've already stated, that's not good. That's not enough. And so that's all I have for this video, but I have a question for you guys. If you filed a claim with the Social Security Administration, let me know how long that process took. Just let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.